hit this button. We're going to start, and hopefully nothing breaks. And then we'll be good to go. Cool. Hey, everybody. Welcome to bonus content. It's me, Alex, with my two best buds, Scott and Nobshin. Hi, guys. Just continuing that theme of silence. How are you guys doing? How are you doing, Scott?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. How did you feel after Extra Life, which was 1 week ago today?
Directly after Extra Life, I was back to having that thing I had.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And then on Tuesday, I got the stomach virus.
Yeah.
That was not fun at all.
Seems like most people got the stomach virus. Except for me. Nabishan, did you get sick after Extra Life at all? Nabishan. He's gone. He's rest in peace. No longer with us. Yeah, the stomach virus thing seemed to be like a little bit of a delayed response for some people. What was like the thing? How were you feeling before that hit you?
How's it? Oh, the stomach thing.
Before the stomach
This is
thing.
the acid. This is the acid reflux problem.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I've had that for a full 2 weeks now.
Nice.
It seems like the big trigger is caffeine.
Okay.
It's caffeine and extremely shitty fast food.
Yeah.
It's one of the fats that's in those foods that are really bad for you.
Yeah.
So that and caffeine is what's set me up. And then I also just eat a third of what I generally eat.
Is it still hurting you now today?
No, because I've learned what I can and can't eat.
Gotcha.
But I still can't. I'm still basically not eating.
That's not good.
Basically, it's while I'm recovering from this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lose a good 5 pounds.
Yeah. What what are you eating to kind of circumvent it? Is it mostly salad and
Kind of. It basically is anything that's not that shitty fast food and that doesn't have caffeine in it.
yeah.
So that caffeine also rules out chocolate.
Yeah. Dang.
No coffee, no chocolate.
No coffee, no chocolate. The
No black tea.
the two temples of life. We're gonna say an
Uh,
option.
Yeah, to answer your question, because my mic wasn't working.
Gotcha.
No, I didn't eat anything. Pretty much over there. Like I ate Alyssa's food, which was great. But other than like the pizza that I had, I didn't. I barely ate over there. I'm just helping out the entire time.
Yeah. So like, this seems to be 100% sick ratio from Extra Life this year. Most people got like stomach flu type shit, like where they were like throwing up or shitting uncontrollably. I just got like regular sick, which I just figured was just exposure to people from all over the place. Like I had a fever and like my throat still hurts and I'm still pretty congested. Like up until literally this morning, I felt awful. So, but yeah, most people are blaming the Buffalo Wild Wings for food poisoning, but I don't know. I think people just were irresponsible with some of the things they put in their body. Which
I mean, there's been cases of Buffalo Wild Wings fucking people up.
Yeah, I'm not ruling out the possibility. To be fair, some of the things people got from Buffalo Wild Wings aren't things I would get from Buffalo Wild Wings. But
especially what I got.
Yeah, Scott got like a super salad, and there we go.
Stomach was hurt, man.
Yeah,
I couldn't eat that food.
It's true. They poisoned us all. No, I don't know. My sickness was at least I think unrelated to B-dubs, but most people were very happy to throw that blame around. But I'm glad you didn't get sick, Nobshin. But yeah, Extra Life was last week, which we did, and it happened. Honestly, it feels like it was a lifetime ago. The day before Extra Life feels like 16 years ago to me right now. Because like during that 24 hours, I think I died twice and came back to life twice. Where because you left Nobshin around 6 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Which was like mid PC blackout, where we broke a computer somehow. We still don't know how. The streaming computer just broke, and then we had to build a new computer and stream from that one.
Which is crazy. It's like it's crazy and so lucky all at the same time.
Yeah, for folks who weren't following the story as it developed, which is to say the rest of us, Mike Burgess, video producer at irrationalpouch.com, which you guys got to meet, which was super cool. He has been like purchasing new components for his PC throughout the year. And then it kind of like him getting the last two things coincided with Extra Life. And he's like, hey, here's an idea. Like maybe we could, in the background, like be working on my PC through like the dark hours of Extra Life as like a thing that we could do. That's fun, like off to the side. I was like, yeah, that sounds like some nerdy shit that we do during Extra Life. That sounds good. And then we had to build this PC so that we could stream from it. Because everything broke. Which I told that to my brother, and he's like, that sounds like the nerdiest shit anyone's ever done during Extra Life. I'm like, it was pretty good. It was very much in the spirit of the event. Yeah, it was there could not have been a better backup plan. And it was like a good
Is
PC.
that like in Trolls and Plank's plan for now on? It's like, no, let's just have another PC just in case now.
They said like, hey, if Mike's components weren't here, we would have just gone to Best Buy and then bought all components and build another PC anyway. So it's like it was either we do the one we have now or just go buy new parts. But yeah, that was
Wouldn't Troll's computer only really have needed a new motherboard?
It sounds like it ended up it was a Windows problem, which, you know, what's new. But yeah, the new motherboard would probably have been the hot fix. But it worked out. We like so Troll and Plank, who like legitimately have both like built computers as their personal day jobs. They threw the computer together in about 25 minutes, which was incredibly impressive. And then they just slotted Troll's solid state drive into Mike's computer, so it had all of his software and stuff on it. And they just literally picked up where they left off, and started using like Mike's equipment instead of Troll's. And Mike was like, I'm just kind of stoked that I don't have to build my computer. But yeah, it couldn't have worked out better. But it was very stressful in the moment. I assure everyone that there was a lot of me like walking around, staring off into the distance, thinking about life. And then at around like 6:45, when we decided that we had to make a new computer, I looked at Jarrett in the eyes and I said, I'm gonna need a drink after this. And he supplied. But yeah, that was Extra Life was crazy. There will at some point be archives and saves of all of the different segments that we did. Troll even ended up there is a now I guess annual horrible segment where Roger Picorni, my friend and yours, goes into a kitchen and just makes food crimes, performs food criminal acts. There was a segment where Troll like used a handheld camera and recorded him. They did that bit, which was part of the live stream, but there was a follow-up segment that Troll just recorded directly to his hand cam So there's like some like bonus footage that will be in the archive of Extra Life, which is pretty fun. Of what their reactions when they actually ate the pizza, which is pretty good. But yeah, that's over. We survived. I'm still sick. I took a nap before this podcast, and when I woke up, I was like, oh, I regret every decision I've ever made. But we're alive. How are you doing, Option?
Tired. Getting just winding down at my job. By me doing the stupid thing of caring too much and being like, oh, I'll be here every day because I'm about to leave. I know this place is pretty much going to be on fire when I go, and it's about to be Thanksgiving, so it's going to be a rush job. It's going to be terrible, so I'll just take the brunt of the work because that's just the kind of person I am, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And saying that I was leaving invoked a lot of the powerful reactions from a lot of people, apparently, because a lot of people cried when they found out I was leaving. So I was like,
damn,
was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But
why not?
Yeah, people love you, man.
Work around there.
It's true. Maybe they were thinking about how much on fire it would be when you were gone too.
I mean, like, I don't know. It was like, I was just even telling customers like I was leaving, and it's one of those things where like I guess I don't really think I make that much of an impact on people, but apparently I do. It's like one of those type of things where it's like, oh wow, I guess I do make a big impact on your life, and like it never seemed like it. Like, I don't really try to be that type of person. I have to try to be a good guy and just help people. But apparently that means a lot to other people. So I don't know.
It does. It means a lot to us. So I understand. Although I don't, if I was like in the position that you were, and I told a customer that I was leaving, and they got like really emotional, I don't know how I would react. I'll be honest. I feel you in that regard. But yeah. So do you know when your last day is? Can you say?
Thanksgiving Day.
Going out on top.
Yeah.
Damn. At least Black Friday is like typically not too bad for the grocery store side of things. Just more for the retail side of things. Damn. Well, it's almost over. When do you start your new job?
The Wednesday after. I'll be doing my orientation.
Nice.
So I have like a whole week of just doing nothing after working for like I've been working since I got off my vacation. I've been working every day since I got off my vacation. So just doing this whole week of just working straight, and then off of Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, and I just won't work for like another week, and then then I'll start my new job.
How was your vacation? It ended like Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday's when I went back to work.
So how many days did you have off? Do you have like a week off?
Yeah, about a week off. Like a week and some change. It was great. It was very much needed. Like more so than I even like imagined. Like honestly, because like I usually never take vacations off. Like really, just to do literally nothing. No, I never do that. Like if I take a vacation, I'm going to fucking San Francisco or something, or doing something along those lines. So yeah, so I was like in a vacation to do literally nothing for an entire week. That was like an amazing thing.
Yeah,
like I haven't had that since like like summer school or something like that. That was pretty great.
Good.
Speaking of like a vacation, which is not a vacation, but whatever. I'm saying it here and now, just to like put it out there. I don't know how likely it's gonna be, but like I'm just gonna say it anyway. But like I'm gonna make an honest attempt to probably try to go to PAX East this year. But
we'll shit, really?
Yeah,
that's very exciting. That's very exciting for me.
I'm saying it here so like there'd be like a nudge. To be
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna fucking hold you to it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. So
I've been trying to get you to at least to go once for years now. So much so that I gave up at some point. That's the show to go to. IMHO.
Yeah, it's like then no kind of funny this year, and like I don't know. See my friends, so sure, why not?
Mm.
I'll make an attempt for it.
Yeah. I think that show is fun, and I know you could see some panels. There's a lot of stuff that you could do at PAX East that doesn't necessarily involve like waiting in lines and doing a bunch of boring stuff. So I support this endeavor. Cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for your next vacation, starting Thursday. I'm excited that you got some time off too. Hopefully, Scott, your acid reflux is gone soon. I'm praying.
I don't know, man. At this point, it's 2 weeks running.
Yeah,
Fucking full into we're into the third week.
yeah, man.
But
I
if there's something to heal, I found the thing to stay away from, and it's basically just caffeine.
mhm.
Said that before, but it's so long as I just stay away from it, it kind of looks like I'll be okay.
Okay.
Other than that, I can eat normally.
I
I just can't eat a lot.
just want to imagine you're just chugging the most basic food, like just milk, Tums tablets,
you see,
nothing else.
no, antacids aren't good simply because you run into the same problem if the acid in your stomach goes too low as well.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
boys.
we're joined by Tony.
Hello.
Hi, Tony.
His say is gonna be a bit late.
It's okay. We're still in bonus content territory. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm all right, and you?
I'm pretty good.
Well, that's good.
I'm worried about Scott's acid reflux, but outside of that, I'm pretty good.
Me too. I'm also worried about Scott.
Always. Tony, did you get any shenanigans this week?
What did I do? I've gotten some video game shenanigans.
Okay, we'll get to those in a little bit.
No real life shenanigans. Other than that massive heist, but other than that,
Man, I'm excited to talk about video games because I played League of Legends with Tony Horvath this week.
yeah, we did.
It was real dumb.
I couldn't talk to you. You couldn't talk to me, so it didn't count.
It did not count. Although I was trying to etch my personality into our chat.
I think I need like a brief on the memes of Extra Life because I picked up on some context that I
So we were talking about that while I was playing. So like just for your reference, I was playing on Scott's computer. And
I knew that. I could see you.
And the computer was mirrored to the TV screen that everyone on the couch was watching.
Yeah.
And they were just watching me pretty much type in the chat and say ridiculous dumb things. Such as King and Stan.
Yeah, that seems to be
which were the two running bits. Yeah.
Meme of the. I mean, I stand for you, Queen.
Thanks, King. Referring to each other as King and telling one another that we stand for each other or for anything, absolutely anything. That was the John Anderson, Tyler Treese induced bit of the weekend.
Yeah,
and most of us by the end
fucked up.
Yeah, we did fuck up. Mostly,
you didn't start with the best fighting game ever.
Yeah, literally the best fighting game ever, according to about 50% of the Extra Life population. Man, there's nothing I can do. People got to just go watch it because the whole Sega Saturn running gag throughout Extra Life is still, to me, the weirdest and most buck wild thing about Extra Life.
Sure.
John Anderson brought his Sega Saturn, and everyone was just down.
Yeah.
Scott and I played Bomberman at one point. We were like way into it.
Yeah, I was watching the stream at that point.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of bullshit to take care of throughout the day, hence I couldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Which then ended up with me without a form of transportation.
Yeah.
For the rest of the weekend, which was like annoying, but it worked out fine.
Yeah, you were there in spirit though. You were playing games.
So yeah. I was like not around for most of the day, but then I got back in the evening and was there throughout the entire night with you guys. So
you and Scott played a whole bunch of League together. It was very nice. Yeah, we missed you. Barrett Courtney said, "Who do I got to kill to meet Tony or to hang out with Tony Horvath?" And I said, "That's fair.
No, you just got to come next year, dude.
Yeah,
I'll be there."
It was super fun. I'm glad that you could at least play some games with us. But we did miss you. And Troll and John specifically send their love to you.
Yeah. I think of all the Extra Life people, other than Scott, that I know was the most upset not to see this year. And then John, probably not. I don't care about him.
Yeah. John Anderson also was upset that he couldn't offer you a flask.
Fair.
But that was just a general feeling.
Honestly, like I would have been there if there were chug jugs, but there weren't any chug jugs.
There weren't any chug jugs, yeah.
So next year you better just have some chug jugs at Extra Life and I'll be there.
I think that can be arranged. You guys ready to start recording?
Yeah, hold on.
Make sure this is working. Blah blah blah. Yes, it is. Good.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Beautiful. On 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Video games. Let's talk about video games. I'm going to send this out again just for fun. My cat's freaking out also because Derek isn't here and he's super sad.
You gotta leave Gus happy.
I agree. All right. Boo boo.
I think he's happy as is.
I think he's like fine. Like I think he's satiated to some extent. Right, bud? You good? He keeps looking at me though.
Was that him?
Yeah. Well, that was me imitating him, but he's right here, and he made a very similar sound. Right, Gus? All right. What day is today? The 17th? That sounds right. I know, bud. Hi. It is Saturday, November 17th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Tony Horvath.
You looking like a chug jug.
And Brian Nobishin Jackson.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to skate uphill.
Have you guys ever seen the series of YouTube videos called Unforgivable?
Is it a series about someone who cannot be forgiven for what they?
I guess kind of. It's like
I mean, I've watched you on YouTube before.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
All right. That was actually pretty good. That was a good burn, Scott. I don't know. They talked about it on Game Grumps, and I had never heard of it until I looked it up after they talked about it.
It's like fucking 15 years old.
I know. It's like crazy old, and it's really funny. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Irrational Passions podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about video games. We're back. We were last week. 7 days prior to today, we were in the midst of a 24-hour charity live stream called Extra Life. We're back from that. We survived. All of us did in our own ways. Some of us, I think like a part of me might have died during Extra Life, and I'll never get that part back. But that's okay. It's a little grim to start the episode on. But if you missed it, it was super fun. It was streamed on twitch.tv/Irrational Passions. We're going to archive that in some capacity within the next couple of months. It is not going to be up right away, but there will be basically breakouts of all the little segments that we did during that 24-hour live stream that were really fun. We had a bunch of guests from all over the country to do dumb stuff with. So we certainly did dumb stuff. So if you missed the show, you can hopefully see those on YouTube soon. But we did it to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. You can still donate to that. extra-life.org is the place to do that. Or irrationalpatch.com/extralife if you'd like to donate to us. But yeah, that was like predominantly what we did over the last week. We did that, and then we all got sick, except for Nabishan and Tony.
Yeah, I didn't get sick.
Tony, you didn't get sick, just independent of all this, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was healthy as fuck.
Healthy as fuck, which is what I like to hear. Usually I do like a whole rigmarole, housekeeping, things that are going up on irrationalpatch.com. Nothing went up this week because we're all recovering from Extra Life. We all had a lot of fun, but it takes a lot out of you. So let's get right into what the meat of the show is. I want like time to game to be like as short as possible this week. Let's talk about fucking video games. Who's been playing some video games? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I can kind of.
No, it's too late, Scott. Tony already called it. You got to be on it. Tony, what games have you been playing?
So I played a small indie game called League of Legends.
Mm-hmm. Independently developed League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's made by half a person.
Yeah, basically. The amount of problems that it has, every single patch, you would assume.
Yeah, right.
That it's made by a small indie company, so.
Mm-hmm. I played League of Legends with you, Tony. And it was magical.
Yeah, we had a good time. The ranked season ended for this year.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in like a 4-month preseason break.
Nice.
Which is just a Rick rolling good.
People playing Rick rolls, having fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So basically what happens between the ranked seasons is there's kind of like an off season where you can't play ranked, but you can still play. It doesn't affect your end of season rewards anymore or anything along those lines. Like you already had to like be at a specific rank already to qualify for those rewards, and that's passed. So I got rewards. Scott almost got rewards. He grinded really hard, just barely didn't make it. Feels
bad.
Yeah, I got very close about twice, but then I got a couple of games with unranked people in my team.
Garbage. They brought you down, Scott.
Yeah. So I made a friend. I know that's a shocker. But we've been playing a lot of ranked during the preseason because it doesn't really matter, but you increase your like matchmaking rating for next season, so you place higher for the actual start of the season, and you actually like will end up placing lower if you don't do so. So he and I have gotten together and we've been playing a bunch of ranked and having a good time, and I'm like learning new champions and stuff. So it's just been a good time playing League.
Yeah. Are they cool?
But nothing else really new.
Is your new friend cool?
He feeds a lot, but he's fine.
It sounds like me.
Boy, he's a lot like me.
Yeah.
Does he carry the late game hard?
Rock hard. I'm gonna assume.
No, he's not like me.
Does he carry the late game hard, Tony?
He tries.
Okay. As long as he's trying, he's having a good time.
Yeah.
I during Extra Life there was a bit where I played League of Legends with Tony. I think I'm gonna be honest, I did better than I thought I would.
Hell yeah.
And I had a lot more fun than I thought I would. We were just playing against bots, but I was like,
yeah,
League of Legends is not bad.
If we were able to talk to each other, I would not have queued us up against bots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. I remember because before we started the game, and it said loading into like a bots queue, and I'm like, Tony, why don't you let me fight real people? Are you scared?
I was a little scared.
That's absolutely fair.
Yeah, because you're on my account.
Yeah.
Playing against people kind of on my level.
Yeah. I just want to like before I put you in a position where you would just immediately die to everything. I wanted to be able to tell you how bad you were.
Yeah.
to your face.
Yeah. Which is fair.
So so we played against bots and we had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Scott after the fact, like, I actually ended up like dying a couple times because I was like gunning so hard to get ahead, so I could just get like 30 kills by the end of the game. Aurelian Soul has like this huge ramp up time where you got to like get these specific items before you can just walk around and kill shit for the rest of the game. So I was trying to get through that as quickly as possible and ended up like dying in positions where I should never die a couple times.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Did you get 30 kills by the end of the game?
I had like 26.
Yeah, you were close. You did very well. We were always joking that you were always just there for me when I needed you.
Yeah, dude, I was trying. I was like, Alex is fucking going in when he shouldn't. I'm there.
Yeah. Tony just shows up out of a bush. And I assure you, on the stream, I was yelling about bush tactics ferociously. But yeah, we joked a little bit afterwards of how like I finally felt alive for the first time after having gone back and played League of Legends for literally the first time in like 7 years.
Yeah.
I have not touched that game in at least that amount of time, if not longer. But I'm not gonna lie, I can see myself playing a little bit of League of Legends in the future.
Hell yeah, the game's fun.
The
guy took your fucking Garen though. I'm kind of not okay with that.
I had no idea who to play, and then it timed out and just assigned me somebody randomly, and it was someone I did not recognize. Who is it?
Yeah, you played Kindred.
Kindred, yes.
Yeah.
Who is a jungler?
Yeah, I did not jungle.
Nah. Did you jingle jangle though?
I did jingle jangle, but that was more of like
bango?
No bingo bango.
Oh, bongos either.
I'll get the jingle jangle, but I won't get to the bingo bango.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Is there a doc for this week's test show?
Yeah, there is. I have it up right now.
Is there?
Let me make sure it's shared. It's not. That would explain so much. Give me 1 second, option. All right. It should now be shared with you if you refresh the folder. Sorry, option. What were you gonna say, Tony?
I was just gonna move on to my next game.
Yeah. What else have you been playing?
So this one's gonna come as a surprise. We played some DayZ.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, so it came out of alpha this week. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, dude. So my friends are like in our Discord server. We're like, hey, if you guys have DayZ, let's play. And we were like, I was like, I don't think I have that game. And he's like, check your Steam library. And it was like on my Steam library, it said like 4 hours played, purchased in 2013.
Hell yeah, dude! I remember this.
And it's been in alpha since then. So it's definitely a quality game. They put a lot of development time into it for sure.
How do you feel about DayZ now that it is a whole complete game?
It's actually a lot of fun. Okay. There's some interesting stuff going on in the DayZ, It's like, I don't know how long it will continue to be fun, because I think my cycle with those games is a lot of, while you don't know what you're doing, it's interesting, but as soon as you know what's going on, it's not interesting. I can just be like, all right, great, I'm gonna run for 3 years to get to this part of the map, maybe get some shit.
Is it still like, does it still have zombies in it?
Yeah, actually, I think it has one of the better zombie systems that, like one of the survival games. The zombies, they they react strongly to noise. So if you're walking near one, it might hear you and like start looking around. But it might not necessarily see you. But like if you're firing your gun at zombies, like all the zombies around you are gonna run straight for that gun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, I don't know. We've been playing for a couple days and just trying to find the right server, because it is still private hosted server.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of like, what is can we find a server that has the right ratios of stuff to make the game interesting?
Yeah. All right. I'm really curious to see how that game stacks up in an era so past it at this point, but yeah. How many players is DayZ?
Up to 100.
Okay. I didn't know if they were up to 100.
Yeah, typically the servers that we've been on have like 60 to 70 people on them at a time. I think that the time to kill is a little too fucking short for the kind of the kind of experience that it is. It kind of feels like Blackout, but even faster time to kill.
Damn.
Blackout is the Call of Duty Battle Royale because like you're walking around the map, surviving. You've got like water, food, and all that kind of shit to sort out.
Yeah.
And you're trying to find shit. You get a gun finally, if you get to the right military place. But like, if someone sees you, it doesn't matter what gun they have. They shoot you twice, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
So it, like as much scavenging as you can do and as much gear as you can have, it doesn't fucking.
Yeah. Damn. That is a little harsh.
And that's kind of happened to all of us, the three of us that are playing. Like we will just.
Yeah. I would say maybe they can make that a little bit better with time, but it is weird that it is that 1.0 out the gate. But I'm glad they got you essentially to check it out again after all this time. Have you played anything else, Tony?
I think that's pretty much it for this week.
Cool. Scott, video games.
Well, as I was trying to say, the only really game I would have to talk about this week is Deltarune, but since nobody really played,
Yeah, we're all bad friends.
I think the only thing that I can say here is I don't think it's important for you to play.
Okay.
And this part I can tell you, and it's not exactly spoilers, because people were kind of questioning what this game was, and as it turns out, this is more of a concept pitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The game that he wants to make.
Yeah.
It is. It's not exactly part one, and it's not exactly a demo.
Yeah. It is kind of
this is what the game's going to be like, and if you just want to go in completely dark on the game when it comes out in maybe 3 years or so, that's okay.
That's fair.
That being said, you would all like this game very much.
Yeah, I liked what I played of it so far. So, well, I'll say one of the coolest bits for me from Extra Life was seeing you played that whole all of Deltarune in Extra Life, and then you sat down with Barrett and had a real heart to heart on what you guys thought of it, and then also Undertale, which I liked a lot. Not hearing any of the conversation for avid spoilers.
Yeah. I kind of skipped all the extra stuff that I knew was in the game to just have that conversation because I knew he was waiting.
Yeah.
I went back and I did it. It's good.
Okay. So do the extra stuff. Cool. I think if you like it and if you think that we'll like it, I think it's still worth checking out. But I know Barrett Courtney, who we all got to play Undertale in the first place.
Is that all on stream?
What?
Barrett playing Undertale?
No,
we were gonna do Justin Barrett playing Undertale.
Yeah, but we didn't get
to do it because he fell asleep.
Yeah, a lot of people fell asleep.
We only had 3 survivors.
Yeah, it was Scott, Mike, and I, and that was literally the only people alive during the darkest times.
I missed Cam.
Yeah,
However,
we did.
I did give him a belly rub goodbye.
Oh, okay, good. It worked out.
Poor Cam, my God.
I forgot him already.
Yeah. I feel bad for Cam. Cam got the worst of it.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He said he still had a good time, though. I don't know physically how he had a good time, but Roger was fine also. So, I don't know. I don't think Roger even got sick. 'Cause he's a bastard. But we didn't get to some segments that we wanted to do, but there was a lot going on during Actual Life, so forgive us. Cool. Is that all you've been playing, Scott? Just Deltarune, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I want to at least chat about it at some point. So.
I mean, I guess the only other thing I did was complete another run in. Was it a legend?
Still good.
Yeah, the chaos spell that I'm going to beat it with next is a It's another good one,
Mm-hmm.
as these spells tend to be. Hey, you remember Phantom Hourglass, Alex?
Yeah.
You summon 6 of those looking knight things,
Oh,
and then they walk around for a good 5-6 seconds, beating the shit out of stuff.
that's really cool. Like all 6
that's
at
the
once.
spell. Yep.
That's cool.
They summon all at once, and for about 6 seconds, they run around beating the shit out of stuff.
It's like
Really
necromancers,
fast.
like from Diablo style. That's cool. Cool. Nabashin. Video games.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's not exactly true, but
I know. I'm just trying to pick below the surface. What's like your do you have like a vacation game that you're chipping away at in the background, or
this is my favorite games of the year, which are a little bit of Valkyria, a little bit of Dragon Quest, and a little bit of Red Dead. Just like all 3 of those I've been chipping away at. Like Red Dead only got to like chapter 3. Valkyria, I'm like halfway through chapter 4.
okay.
Had like really fast tanks showing up. That's like where I stopped. And Dragon Quest, God, where did I stop at on that? Oh, I just got my ship.
Oh, nice. Airship or boat ship?
Boat ship.
My cat's ruining everything in my room currently. Shout out to boat ships. Cool. I'm excited to hear like where Dragon Quest ends up for you, assuming you finish it this year. Because like you've been really your passion in that game has gotten me more into it. So
it's a really good game.
Yeah, it's. I bought it last week and we talked about it briefly. I played like the first 2 hours, I think, just maybe the first hour, just like the intro. And I like its style a lot. It's very stylish. And it is very good vibes.
Yeah, it is a very good vibe game. That is just a game that you just play because like I like even like the stuff that feels like it should be morbid and like make you like be like really like I guess like the very tension feel type parts of that game that supposed to make you like somewhat depressed. You don't really feel that way because like not that it doesn't like come across that way. You still feel it, but it's more of like that game just brings like so much joy out of you. I think it's a very joyous game.
Yeah, that's cool too. I've been playing many of those kinds of games as well. Anything else you want to touch on?
I got Spyro.
Did you play it at all?
Yeah, I played like maybe like 5 hours of the first game.
Okay, that's like a good chunk of it. So,
yeah.
I too get Spyro. I can talk about my video games.
Go ahead.
The Spyro Reignited trilogy came out, and I've like poured my heart and soul into that game. It's like my sick game, so being like bedridden, I'm not doing anything but play that for the most part. And it's making me so happy in such a pure way. It is very good. All those games are still very good in my opinion. I'm curious, how do you feel about how the first game feels, Namshin?
Well, the first game gave me motion sickness.
Really?
When I first played it on PlayStation 1, like it gave me like such a constant headache. Like
wow.
Every time I played it, but like I 100%ed it back then still because like I enjoyed it so much.
What about now? Does it still make you sick?
No.
Okay.
No, I've gotten more used to it, and like the flow of it is still good. Like it's weird. Like I feel like I got like minor headaches playing that game like nowadays, but like I think that's just me just being like having like regressive memories or some bullshit like that. It's like I don't think I'm really actually like getting headaches or anything like that playing it, but like yeah, it's still good. Like it's the game that I need right now in my life right now because like I can't play something right now currently. Because of my work and all the other stuff is something that like requires me to like pay attention to it in that type of way, I guess you could say like I can't like just sit down and play something for like 5 hours straight, like because like that's what Red Dead is for me. Like it's like when I play Metal Gear Solid 5, it's like if I'm gonna play that game, I'm gonna play that game for like 3 or 5 hours straight, and like soak it all in and enjoy it for that. Valkyria, I want to give my full attention to, and like Dragon Quest, I want to give my full attention to. Even Tetris Effect, I have to give my full attention to. And like this is a game I could just mellow out and just like maybe have Game Grumps playing at the same time I'm playing that or something like that. I don't know.
That's what I've been doing, so I feel you. It's not a game that demands your full attention. Not that it's not good, but it's like there's not like a lot of dialogue going on. There's not a lot of things that are jumping out at you. No big surprises. Spyro's just pretty chill. I don't like those games for me. They don't feel as stiff as old games tend to feel. They're like 20-year-old games at this point, but I think they're still pretty fluid. And jumping still feels good. Jumping and then gliding still feels good. The kind of bigger set of abilities that you get through the second and third games still feel really good. So yeah, I've just been. It is like a very good vibes kind of game. It's very colorful. The voice acting is very fun and silly. It's got really great chill music. Like the cool thing about the music is it's all like super like laid back, and very bumping, like kind of groovy background music. And they enhance some of the music in this remaster. So. I just have been loving it so much. I 100% completed the first game. I 100% completed the second game. And I'm playing through the third game now. And I'm on the third area of 3, I think. There might be 4 areas, but I'm not sure. But yeah, like those games have just been super fun for me to play. I'm getting a little bit of that nostalgic memory. I would say like the first time I played, or the last time I played those games was like 10 years ago or so. So like when I was like 15. And the time before that would have been when I was a kid. So I'm getting a little bit of like sense memory from both last times I played it. And it's cool to see everything like redone and look so good. It is a very, very faithful remake of everything. So it's very 1-to-1. But yeah, just makes me feel good. And speaking of games that make me feel good, a game that I like zero interest in, and then like very quickly after playing Spyro, I was like, man, this game might actually be really good for me right now, as far as like continuing the good vibes must go on feelings. And that's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which I ended up buying. And I'll say this, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is the most into a Pokemon game I've been in a very long time, which is cool. I don't know. I think we all kind of had the same reaction to that game of like, this doesn't, like, it seems like a fun in-between thing before like the real Switch Pokemon game comes out next year. It's very casual, if you want to throw that word around. But I it is very satisfying for me to play that game. One, because of the same kind of principle as Spyro. It's like very colorful and bright, and just Pikachu just gets up on your arm. You can pet her, and she's just adorable. Or him, whichever you get in your playthrough. And it's just super cute, and all the Pokemon are cute, and everything looks pretty, and it looks really great, like blown up on the TV or in handheld mode, either way. But also like I find myself playing that game differently than I've ever played any Pokemon game, because it's built differently. I didn't really know how all the catching Pokemon stuff worked going into it. I just knew, okay, you throw your Pokeball. There's no like random battles. You just throw your Pokeball at Pokemon, catch them, and then when you catch Pokemon, your whole team gets experience, and that's it. Really, like you'll do trainer battles and everything else is pretty much the same. But as far as random Pokemon go, this is how this part of the game works, which is all true. But like there are more systems in place to make that like not super tedious or boring at any point. So like I found myself like actually just trying to catch all Pokemon versus me just kind of catching like the 8 to 10 Pokemon that I like, which is typically what I do in Pokemon games. And that's been really fun. Like I'll catch like 3 Growliths because who cares? What's cool is your Pokemon box where you send your Pokemon, your overflow Pokemon, if I may, that don't fit in your party. So you just carry that with you. So you can swap out your team with your stored Pokemon anytime. So if you have like 30 plus Pokemon, you can be switching Pokemon in and out all the time. Anytime, anywhere. You don't have to go to a Pokemon Center, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then, kind of like how they do in Pokemon Go proper, you can send your extra Pokemon to Professor Oak, and then he will give you candy in return, which I just assume he's just crunching this Pokemon into candies. It's the only logical explanation. But no, not really. But so like, I caught like 10 Pidgey, so like, let me send all these Pokemon to Professor Oak, and then depending on the Pokemon that I send him, he'll give you certain kinds of candy that will buff your Pokemon stats permanently. So he'll give you like a speed candy, and it's like raise your Pokemon's speed stat by 2 or something like that. Or a power candy or a defense candy, et cetera, et cetera. And that system isn't just like you just get infinite candy and all your Pokemon are super powerful all the time, because at certain points, Pokemon will require like, okay, well, if you want to raise this Pokemon's speed stat, since you've given a lot of speed candy already, it's going to take 2 candies, then 3, then 4, so on and so forth. And eventually, once you hit a certain level, it'll take like the large version of the candy, which you can only get by sending more powerful Pokemon to the professor. So they have this kind of system for recycling Pokemon, which is kind of grim, but it works really well for them saying like, hey, we just want you to catch a whole bunch of Pokemon. And as someone who just like, again, I play Pokemon in a very weird, specific way where I just catch like a handful of Pokemon. That's it. This is having me play it in a totally different way where I think like most people play it where they try and catch as many Pokemon as they can, try and catch them all, et cetera, et cetera. And that's been super fun. Like, I had a conversation with a friend of the show, Nato Johnston, after this game was announced. And he said something that really sparked in me any interest in this game, which is like, hey, random encounters in Pokemon are lame and bad anyway. So the fact that you don't have to fight Pokemon that you encounter randomly is actually a good thing. And I tend to like totally agree with that. I'm like super over random encounters just in general. So like when you're running in tall grass, you don't just randomly encounter Pokemon. There are actually Pokemon walking around on the world, and you have to contact them to initiate like the catching battle. And again, it's not like constantly exhausting your Pokemon to catch new Pokemon because you're just throwing Pokeballs at them. There's no like fighting or anything involved in that. And I will say, like, I think there are more trainers like on the field and in the game as a result of like there not being random battles. So you are still getting plenty of battles in. Like, I'm still finding myself fighting trainers constantly, and that's still really fun. And that is exactly what you would want from Pokemon. So I don't know, I really like it. I'd be curious what you think, Tony, just because I know you also like Pokemon.
I like some Pokemon.
You like some Pokemon, not all Pokemon. But I don't know, it's just like all my Pokemon are leveling up really quickly. I'm catching a lot of stuff. I'm having a good time. Like I know like some of the more nuanced mechanics are not present in this. Like I think EV/IV levels are not present in this. Skills aren't present. So like stuff like where Pokemon will have a special skill when they go out on the field, that's not in this game. So I know like a lot of people are turned off by those more advanced mechanics not being in it, and I get that. I will just say that as someone who liked those but didn't necessarily engage with them before, like I'm just not missing them at all.
Okay, yeah, well, not the second one. Special skills probably,
Mhm.
but the EVs and IVs have always been the dumbest thing in the world,
Mhm.
and nobody disagrees.
Yeah. I definitely, like, when you guys explained that to me, because I again, it was years ago on this show where you told me about that for the first time because I didn't know it was in the game. Very dumb. But yeah, so like I think like stuff like the candies have kind of replaced the role that those filled. So like yeah, I think it is more of a casual, laid back Pokemon experience. It's very cute. It's very jolly. It's very fun. But I don't think that hurts it. I think that just helps it, honestly. So, but yeah, I got Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. If people want to trade Pokemon with me, hit me up. I'm down to get some Vulpixes, which apparently are not in my game. So, but I get Growlithe instead. So it worked out. But yeah, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, very good. In the same vein as Spyro, it is just like a very good, feel good kind of game for me right now. I played a couple other things. I played a whole lot of Tetris Effect, which is incredible. It might be my favorite game that came out this year. I know it's stupid because it's Tetris, but it's very cool Tetris. It's probably not my number one, but I had a lot of very special moments with Tetris Effect. And that's not even including the VR stuff I had with Tetris Effect, but I played a lot of it after Extra Life. Played through all of the Journey, which is kind of like the story mode equivalent in that game. The mechanics in that game are really, really cool. The visuals are incredible, and the music is phenomenal. So that's all I'll say. If you like Tetris, you should play Tetris Effect. If you like Tetsuya Mizuguchi, you should play Tetris Effect. So I think that's enough said. And I'm still chipping away at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I made some progress in since last time we talked about it on the show. I fought a Cyclops, which was pretty intense, and I continued to do magical stuff as a superhuman that apparently just lived in Greek times. But nothing really new to say on it. Same issues I had with it as before, et cetera, et cetera. We don't have to spend too much time on it. But yeah, video games are fun and jolly and fun. And we're like 20 days away from Super Smash Brothers. I just want to remind everyone to catch you up, Nobishin, since I assume now that Extra Life is over, you're not on Twitter.
No.
But the current updates on Irrational Passions members' Twitter names, Mike Burgess has changed his name to Mike, and then the amount of days remaining until Super Smash Bros. Ultimate comes out. So currently Mike 20 days, which is pretty good. And oh god, Jarrett's is like so good. This is why I brought this up in the first place. Jarrett Green has changed his name to the Cody Rhodes of Irrational Passions, which I don't know if I understand, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Surprised you didn't say anything about Blade.
Oh, true. Blade, the winner of our Kill Your Babies segment, Kill Your Faves, as we renamed it. Shout out to Blade. I've never seen Blade, but I've heard good things. Is the first Blade good, Nobishin?
I've never seen it.
You never seen it?
No, the intro I did was from Blade, but like, that was like a Google search, and you should look at the last fight scene of Blade. I literally, that was the first time I've ever seen anything from that movie, and it's like, wow, this is this is something, because it's very good choreographed like fighting, but the blood is like ridiculous as far as the way it looks, because it's so fake that it's unbelievably fake. It's it's a very weird scene. I would say.
That's pretty good though. I'm here for that.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. Like I think it's like best fight scene from Blade or last fight scene from Blade. Just look up that on YouTube and you'll see what I mean.
Cool.
But no, I do want to say I appreciated that everyone appreciated that dumb thing that I brought.
People got into it, dude. I think people got into it in the wrong way, but it worked for what we were doing.
It did, and like I do have like respect for like like Trevor took like the first cut of the first like the first gut punch I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Where he just like came up to say just like cut the Dark Knight and it's like whoa, and I was like yeah that's exactly what I wanted. And
like the amount of screaming that happened during some of that was very good.
Yeah, I'm upset that I missed most of it, but like I appreciate everyone just like getting so into it.
Yeah.
And like I'm glad I wasn't there for my cuts for the ones that the two movies that I cared about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all right though.
Yeah, but we all knew Blade was gonna win, so we had to get there one way or another. So
I am shocked that Blade won because I thought that would be the going for Jarrett type of thing.
No, like, the thing was like
oh, yeah, I appreciated that movie.
Jarrett, Logan, and I looked at each other at around like 11 p.m. We were like, Blade's gonna fucking win this, isn't it? And then I asked Jarrett at that point, I'm like, which of the two Blade movies is the good one? He's like, Blade 1 is better. And so I cut Blade 2, and then from there we were all set on a path to get Blade to victory.
So what was the one before Blade?
Hellboy.
Okay.
Hellboy 1 was the first runner-up.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it really is. But the thing was, like, it was like Hellboy and Blade were like, Hellboy's pretty good.
So here's a question. Between the MCU and the DCU, like which one got like all their cuts out first?
I think probably the MCU, because a lot of people just forgot about the DCU movies.
I thought that was pretty much the case. It seemed like it was going that way because like we all have to argue if Civil War is a good movie or something like that. But like like we'll keep like Batman v Superman on there for like 20 more turns or something
pretty
like that.
Pretty much, dude. Batman vs Superman was on there for way too long, but it's neither here nor there. Another good. That was a very fun like running gag for Extra Life. So I like that a lot. That's all I've been playing video games wise. We've reached the end of the video game segment like less than an hour in, so now I'm honestly confused as to what to do with my life. Do you guys want to talk about some news?
Do it.
All right, I wasn't prepared for this. Can you guys fill air for like 30 seconds? Scott, fill air with all of your interesting facts about the world.
I don't have.
I was watching fucking Giant Bomb Mass Alex.
Yeah?
That's not an interesting fact.
They finally went to Vermeer.
Did they finally get a Vermeer?
Yeah.
I gotta catch up.
It only took like 4 episodes of going to random planets and driving around to get.
We did so much side quest bullshit. I love it.
Oh my god, Alex was so determined to see all of it.
Is he into it though?
He's into it.
He's fucking loving it.
He's really into it. Like he loves it.
That's really good.
Yeah,
That's good.
It's so awesome to see someone like find what's awesome about that series for the first time again. So
is it weird? It's not weird. This is me, but like I'm going to buy a new laptop, like a better laptop for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in like a week or two.
Yeah.
And I'm literally just doing that so I could just play the PC versions of Mass Effect games.
I mean,
all right. So, quick question: does it have to be a laptop?
Yeah, are we gonna get you a tower Nawishin? Are we gonna sneak you into PC gaming?
I'm going to be very honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to, I would much rather you buy a pre-built tower than pick up a laptop that you're gonna do any gaming on.
You need a laptop though for your purposes though, Nawishin, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
What's gonna end up happening to that laptop is no matter what kind of laptop it is, they do not build a way for the heat to properly escape from the components.
Yeah.
Yes.
They just don't do it. So that laptop, when you use it, dies in about 3 years. Now you can go ahead and you can send it to a shop to get the broken part repaired, but generally every time you do it, you add a year until it becomes very expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's about how long laptops last for you, Option.
I have 2 of them that lasted 10 years now.
Oh, damn. Okay. Never mind. I stand corrected.
He doesn't play computer games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But now that he wants to pick up a laptop for it,
To play 3 stupid games, and that's it.
I think you'll be fine, probably, Navashin. You are weird though, but we love you. There's no judgment here. I'll tell you this. It's been very hard for me not to go back and replay the Mass Effect games lately, so I totally understand. All right. Now I'm ready for news.
Do it.
News in gaming. Sony's not going to be at E3. Big news. That's the big news of the week.
But like everybody saw that coming, right?
No.
I think
Not in that way. Not in that way.
not like it was so. I think like how it was unveiled to us was very unceremonious. That definitely didn't help. This is definitely not how Sony wanted people to find out. I think you're right to some extent, Tony, because there's a part of me that wasn't surprised by this. But there's also a part of me that was very surprised because like years ago we had started this kind of conversations of like, what is E3? How important is it? Blah, blah, blah. And to be clear, like up until this past year, everybody was here for E3 and still considered it pretty important. But it was always a question of like, who's going to drop, who is big that's going to drop out first. And then EA dropped out and then Activision dropped out.
but that turned out to be good.
Yeah, which was fine.
Because it became less boring.
Yeah, and EA's
But
like
at the same time, they were still part of E3 though.
Yeah.
In their own way. Like it was still around the event. They were like there's it's like saying, "Oh, I'm separated from you," but like you're still across the street or something like that.
yeah. They were still in LA. They still did a press conference that weekend before E3, and they still had like some kind of show presence in Los Angeles that people can go and play games while E3 was happening. Right? They were like separate, but still lumped in with that event. Right now, we don't know what Sony's doing. I would say there's still a possibility that could be what Sony ends up doing. They do their own event outside of E3, outside of the LA Convention Center, but still around that time in LA. I think that's still possible. But
it's possible, but the wording from what was given out as far as information is that they won't be there at all.
Yeah. The big thing is like, yeah, Sony is like not going to be on the show floor, and they're not going to have their press conference. So like I think we talked about this a couple years ago when EA dropped out. When you like go to E3 back-to-back years, like you kind of you reserve like this part of the show floor that you had the previous year. And when you drop out, like that part of the floor, you can't necessarily get that back. Like if Sony wanted to come back to E3 in 2020, they might not necessarily get the same part of the floor that they had, that same convention space that they had. Not that I think that matters at this point, but it's like when you leave, you are like all the way out, is pretty much what that means. It's one of the reasons like Konami was still at E3, still is at E3 years and years and years, because they still want to maintain like that floor presence that they have, and they don't want to lose that. Even though Konami, as far as we know, doesn't make video games anymore. But yeah, I don't know. It's like a big move. The ESA, I think, was it through the Sony earnings that came out, or was it like the ESA announced something about E3 and they also mentioned that Sony's not going to be there? It was one of the two. Is how
it would have to be a response because Sony news just came out like a few days ago. So
yeah, so there's not a lot of information out there. I think like like really all we know is that they're not going to be there. We don't know if they're doing anything instead, et cetera, et cetera. We don't know why precisely they're skipping. Like, I think there's plenty to assume, but yeah, I don't know. They put out like a statement. It's very like milquetoast of like, hey, like, you know, we're exploring new opportunities to engage the community, et cetera, et cetera. So they're just like looking outside of E3 to engage with folks. Yeah, I think like the speculation goes one of two ways of like either Sony really doesn't like have anything to show and they're trying to set expectations really low, which I don't think is the case. Obviously they still have video games that they've announced that they haven't put out yet. So like Days Gone comes out next April. The fucking Last of Us Part 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima are all presumably announced PlayStation 4 titles that just don't have release dates yet. But and Dreams, how could I forget? So like they still have like a handful of pretty big first party games. But I assume like they can't just show them again at E3. So that could be a part of why.
Sure they can.
I
Why
mean,
not?
They could. They certainly have. Hasn't stopped them over the last couple of years.
Exactly.
But I don't know if like that's a component as to why they don't want to necessarily show anything at E3. I think the bigger and more grounded or founded part of speculation is that they're going to try and do their own event, which I think makes more sense. It is like that. I was thinking about it. It's like that kind of balance that PSX always had to hold of like, yeah, well, I mean, it's 6 months after E3, so in theory it should have a lot to show, but it's also like E3 is a huge show, and they've dropped like bombshells during PSX before, and that's gone over pretty well, I think. So I think ultimately, if this ends up, they don't do E3 and they just do PSX, maybe at a different time in the year, and that's like their big conference for the year, I think that makes total sense. So, which is how I think this is going. They're going to do their own event. A lot of people are speculating that they'll do their own event that culminates in the announcement of their next piece of hardware next year, and I think them dropping out of E3 basically guarantees that they're not going to announce the PlayStation successor until 2020. That's my opinion on the matter. I think they just are trying to get away from that.
What about like announced 2019?
Release 2020?
Release 2020.
I think that's possible, especially if like, let's say PSX is still in December and they.
Yeah, I'd assume like late 19, late 20.
Yeah. I think the way the PS4 launch went, of like announcing in February and then releasing in November, like all in the same 10 months, I think that just went so well that I wouldn't want to make that gap any bigger.
Sure.
But that's also totally possible. I don't get the feeling. I guess like if you're only going to do the one event and let's say it's in December, you can't just do another event in February to announce like the PlayStation 5 or something. So yeah, that does make sense as well. So I don't know. Namshin, how did you feel when you saw this?
Oh, that was craziness. Like when you think of Sony and E3, pretty much since the start of the PS4, because like they went from a company that was all about independent games and with their one of three big games, then it was about a company about giving you everything that you wanted for multiple years. Then it became a company of just showing the games and nothing, not even talking during the conference. Then it became whatever the fuck that was last year, E3. And now they're just not doing anything at all. So like, I guess kudos to them for like not trying to stay the course and like not trying to be the same, just trying to be different every year. So like, I guess that's the thing that was the thing to be looking forward for them for at E3, but like them pulling out in general to see like what's the best course for them to do. Like it makes sense and it's logical, but it's like it's almost like who's gonna take that spot now?
Yeah.
and like how's the perception of E3 is going to be, good or bad? Like overall, like is E3 just automatically just a disappointment in general now?
Yeah.
Does it put more pressure on Microsoft and Nintendo to have bigger shows? That's to have to be a bigger show, and Ubisoft to be a bigger show because Sony's not there to pick up, not necessarily to pick up their slack, but like
they're not bringing the big guns,
Yeah.
And I think that's the big question is like, my hope, as like we've been rooting for the underdog here for like the last like 4 years, is that like Microsoft like shows up, like I mean, like they show up and they're like, challenge accepted, and we're gonna blow you all away with what we've got to show.
And I think they've been doing that like successfully for like the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and I think they're like building like, momentum still too.
Yeah, but it's like they would need another like. They would need something like mind-boggling big, like not only just showing off their new console, but like something like here's a big fucking thing. In fact, I will almost bet on this. I'm not, but I will almost bet on this.
Friendly wager, yeah, I gotcha.
But like something humongous, like Tabata, the guy who just left, who was in charge of Final Fantasy 15, like they saying like, oh, we got him and he's making an exclusive game for Microsoft, something like that, something big like that. And I know that's Japanese centric, I know that's me, and that's like something my mind would think is a big deal. But like, the guy who made, who or at least helped make Final Fantasy 15 to be what it is, and like a big name in the Japanese industry, that's something that Microsoft actually needs. I think that would be like a good gift for them.
Yeah, it's like an exclusive too. It'd be huge.
Yeah, that's what I mean. As an exclusive.
Yeah, and I think like if you said Tabata's joined the initiative and like they're working on a big RPG, like that's the kind of thing that would be really, really cool. Something like that I think would be rad. I do agree that it probably wouldn't make as big a splash outside of like you or me. As I think we would want, but it could be really cool for the gamers out there. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think in my heart of hearts that Microsoft is like set up for such success. Obviously, I think they're probably a few years out from them, like really hitting out of the park back to back to back. One of the other bits of news I had this week was the XO event. What was it called?
Oh, XO18.
XO18, thank you. The Microsoft conference, which happened during Extra Life. There wasn't a lot of huge announcements out of that. There's like a release date for Crackdown 3, which is like February 16th, 15th, somewhere around then.
Day before my birthday.
Yes. And a nice birthday present from Terry Crews to you, Nabshin. And also a couple other minor things. Basically, like everything is coming to Game Pass. If you did not have Game Pass, this was a very focused advertisement for Game Pass for you, which is pretty cool. Like PUBG is on Game Pass now.
You know what? Here's a good sell for Game Pass, honestly. And I thought about this like after this XO18 thing. Like Game Pass is like the best rental service that you can get these days.
It's the best blockbuster.
Is it something like you just try out? Like if I wanted to play like Forza Horizon 4, which I did the trial for that, and like I tried it out, and I was like, okay, this game is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't spend too much time for it because I got like other games to play, so I canceled my Game Pass after that. But like, just paying just $10 for the month of that game, like that's the best rental service you can ever have these days. So like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, there's really so many why the fuck nots with Game Pass that I don't know, it makes it such a like basically you can get Game Pass for your first month for $1 no matter what, as long as it's your first month now. I think they didn't announce when that expires, but yeah, I think that's up for the foreseeable future. It's just a rad service. They announced a couple other little things. It wasn't like it didn't end up being a huge show like we thought it might be, but it was cool. They showed a bunch of games. They announced a Winter of Arcade, which any longtime listeners of this show know I've been literally begging Xbox to bring back Summer of Arcade. for so long. It was cool because like I was watching that live with Logan Moore from DualShockers during Extra Life, and we just like looked at each other like mouth open, like oh shit. It was like the most exciting announcement for just the two of us. But they are going to be bringing back the Summer of Arcade style promo where 5 games released in 5 weeks, and if you buy 3, 4, or 5 of those games in those weeks, you get like money back or discounts off of the other games. And they're gonna announce those games during the Game Awards. So we still don't know what those games are, but I assume it'll be like December through February type deal. And my speculation personally is that Below, which has been long awaited, is going to be a part of that as well. So we shall see. But yeah, like I don't know.
What if it's not?
If it's not, dude, I'm giving up.
It's like, oh my god.
Like Jared and I talked about it during our show of like we met the director of that game and like he looked in our eyes and said it's coming out this year. I was like, I want to believe you so fucking bad, but like I just god, they got to put it out. I think that's like the perfect time to do it though.
For sure.
Not like timing wise in the year, but like Winter of Arcade, that style thing would be.
It almost as if that game was just waiting for that moment. Honestly,
Yeah.
Like the one thing that could make it shine the most. Like even like it seemed like that would be like a Cuphead moment, but like Cuphead went on by itselp, but still, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I do totally know what you're talking about. And I think it deserves that. It's a very cool game. But Microsoft also announced that they bought Obsidian and. What's the other one? I always forget what it's called.
It starts with an X.
Yeah. X something. But they bought 2 more studios. So that's like 6 acquisitions and 1 new studio, 7 new studios in 1 year, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. I think they are set up for a lot of cool stuff. So, and I guess they like rebranded their studio header to just be like Microsoft Studios now. It's not Xbox Game Studios or Microsoft Games Studios or something, which is cool. I'm into. In Exile Entertainment is the other studio they bought. Obsidian, I still think is a really, really cool get because I think Obsidian makes really cool games that are sometimes maybe a little janky, but with a little bit more time and budget, I think Obsidian can make like a real banger. Yeah, I don't know. PlayStation drops at E3. Like that's the thing that we're probably gonna be talking about for months and months and months. So until E3 is come and gone, I'm sure. Even still afterwards. So it's buck wild. The only other bit of news I pulled, there are the Game Awards nominees have been announced. I think we'll probably revisit that next week because
Sure.
you had an idea for an option. I definitely want to make that happen. But so we will do our annual what the fuck's going on with the Game Awards segment next week. But those nominees are announced if folks want to go check them out. I saw the only nominees list I saw was the Game of the Year nominees. And I was like, cool, these are all the games that I had like weird specific problems with this year, which I appreciated. But I think it's
even Celeste?
Even Celeste. Remember I talked about like the first 4 levels of that game I think are like not as great as like the last 4 levels of that game.
Oh, okay, yeah, you did totally say that.
I was like, I think Celeste is the game on that list that I like the most. Probably, I have no opinion on Red Dead 2. Still, so
Right.
So I've not played any of it since the first time I played it, but it was funny that it's like, oh, Assassin's Creed Origins, I like this game a lot, but it's got problems. Oh, Spider-Man, I like this game a lot, it's got problems. God of War, I like this game a lot, it's got problems. I'm noticing a theme. But yeah, good game still, very good list.
I appreciate that list a lot because like I was literally thinking in my head, and like if I was still using Twitter, which I'm not, I would have tweeted out that like I predict that like all these games would have been on the list except Celeste, and see that Celeste was on that list is like that was like that gave that it gives the Game Awards like more credibility than even more. Even though I already give it to the credibility that it deserves, I feel.
Yeah.
It gives it even more because that game was on the list, and it's like, yes, this is like
totally earned that spot.
Yes, exactly.
And like the fact that they were honoring that was really cool. And something like Assassin's Creed, which is like a cool game that's doing a lot of cool things like culturally and with like character and everything, I think is cool to see on that list too.
Yeah, because like I still for me, obviously, like 2018 has been a very weird year for me for multiple reasons, socially and a whole bunch of stuff. But like games that haven't really been clicking with me that much this lately, this year, and like but like all those games are like the ones I felt like were the ones that like did an extra launch for like a lot of different people for different reasons in different ways. So like I feel like all those games deserve to be on there, and I don't think there's not a misstep on that. So I'm very, very proud of like how Jeff Keighley nailed it this year.
Yeah, I agree. It was cool because like when I took Quentin Hoffman to the airport on Tuesday morning, we were talking about like, hey, like, you know, they're gonna announce the Game Awards Game of the Year nominees later today. Like, what do you think's gonna be on the list? And he was like so sure that Celeste was gonna be on that list, like with a bullet. He's like, no, this game deserves it. I was so happy to see he was right. Like that's his personal Game of the Year. He loves it. So, the other bit of news that kind of came out this week, Square Enix. I'm sorry. This is just I really love this piece of news. It's awful, but Square Enix came out and they're like, hey. I think it was an earnings call. It
was a live stream, dude.
It was a live stream. It was even weirder.
News about Final Fantasy 15, so everybody get excited for it.
Yeah, right. And so they announced that they are canceling 3 of the 4 Final Fantasy 15 DLC things that were like upcoming. Basically, they announced like a season 2 of Final Fantasy 15 downloadable content episodes. They announced this a while ago too. It was like before E3. Yeah, it was like right after the Windows edition came out, which was like March. So it was like sometime in March, April. They were like, "All right, we're gonna do 4 more episodes," and everyone was like, "Really?" And so they were going to do episode Arden for the villain of the game, episode Luna for Luna Freya, episode Noctis for Noctis, and then, oh gosh, what was the 4th one?
Aranea?
Yes, episode Aranea, which I was really excited about.
That was the one. That's the one. Everybody wanted.
Yeah, because Aranea is just the coolest. So basically, they came out and said, "Hey, we're going to cancel 3 of these episodes. We were still going to do episode Arden, which I guess I would bet that was just the one that they were the furthest along with. That's just me speculating, though, to be fair. But Aranea, Luna Freya, and Noctis' episodes were canceled. They are not coming out ever. And not only that, but Hajime Tabata, the director of Final Fantasy 15, is leaving Square Enix. And my thing is like when I read into this a little bit more, I think the two are related, but not. I feel like people started speculating that like it was like a poor situation for everyone, and Tabata left, and then they had to cancel the episodes. I think what was more likely that happened is that they sat down and took like a real hard look at like, hey, like, who are these episodes for? Who, like, what is like the feedback we've gotten from the fans telling us about these DLC episodes? And I think they decided to cancel it. And then after Tabata was like, okay, like, you know, your project is pretty much done, he decided to leave Square Enix independently of that. That is the vibe that I got. But again, I don't know for sure. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I think like obviously it wasn't like a situation where people could buy a season pass and were like guaranteed those episodes or anything like that. It's not like anyone had paid for this content and it got canceled. Like that shit just wasn't out yet, and no one had paid for it or anything, which is good. The episode Arden episode is coming out early next year. I think March of next year. Yeah. And after that, that's basically the end of Final Fantasy 15. They are going to kind of cut
Unless
off.
you like comrades.
Yeah, unless you like Comrades, which they are the multiplayer expansion. They're spinning off into its own standalone game that you can download on PC in December.
Can we make a friendly wager that Tony will get into this for some fucking reason?
Yeah, dude,
and then,
Tony
like, tells about it for like 5 months, and then he says he hates it.
Let's get deep into the Final Fantasy 15 Comrades.
Yeah, dude, I'm all about the Final Fantasy 15 expansion.
He did tell me that he needed a new multiplayer game.
You know what? Having played that multiplayer a little bit, it's not bad. It's fine.
It's fine.
But you won't play it with us, so fuck you.
I mean, I couldn't play it on PC, but I would play it with you guys if I could. I would, because I've never played it with like my friends or anything. There are like cool bosses and stuff in that. You can fight Bahamut in that Comrades expansion, which you can only do in that expansion, which is cool, I guess. I don't know. They put out a trailer for the episode Arden. I think it looks cool. I was like the one dude kind of excited about all of these DLC episodes because I like replayed Final Fantasy 15 earlier this year. I played all the extra stuff they put out for it, which I thought was actually really good. Like that Windows Edition update, the Royal Edition stuff that they added to the end of the game, I thought was like really good. The bosses that they added were really good. And like the ship stuff that they added, I thought was really rad. So I liked all the stuff that they put out for Final Fantasy 15. I like that game a lot. I think I definitely like it more than most people. So I'm kind of bummed about this, but also like I get it, dude. You are not playing to the crowd when you were like, we're gonna do 4 more DLC episodes for Final Fantasy 15. I don't think there is anything that those episodes would have done to get more people in. So it's just a bummer. It's a bummer anytime anything gets canceled. So, but it is probably the right call on Square Enix's decision. I know like a lot of people were kind of talking about this, but this is the right call. Let's put Final Fantasy 15 to rest and let that team do literally anything else. So that game just has a lot of baggage with it. So that's it for news. That's all I pulled.
You didn't hear Damiani talk about this, did you, Alex?
No, I didn't.
I just wanted to know your take on it. I'll just wait till you hear, or you eventually hear about it.
Okay.
I think he said in the latest episode of it.
Was it just like perspective, or does he have a theory about it?
He has both of those things, but it's more of a like of it's more of like just like how 15 was, and like how 16, how this will evolve until 16, and like pretty much what he wants out of the next Final Fantasy game.
Okay.
And like he doesn't really want this. Like he's kind of tired of Square Enix just trying to be like the number one type of publisher, or like you know how Final Fantasy has to like fucking change your life type of thing. He's like, just go back to the basics, go back to something like simple like Final Fantasy 9 or Final Fantasy 6, and like just be a good game first and then worry about like everything else, rather than like trying to be some all-encompassing story that has to be like in multiple parts to be somewhat comprehensible or whatever. I don't know. He did a good rant. I appreciated his take on it.
It's kind of like, why wasn't Bravely Default Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, or like
Octopath Traveler Final Fantasy
Octopath
16.
Traveler, like that. The theory out there that like Project Octopath Traveler was going to get announced, like the name was going to be announced, and it was going to be Final Fantasy 16. I thought was so cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like that perspective. Make a good game first and see what happens. Let's take a peek at the mail sack. I started the music, but we're in it. We're living it. You can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ, and we'll read them on the show. And you can also email us, mailsack@irrationalpatch.com, and leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337, and we will play it on the show. We'll read your email. I did solicit some things for The Extra Life show that I didn't end up reading. I pulled some of the ones that were still relevant or funny. So I'll throw those in here. Stephen Coffin at Scoffin Steven. Shout out to Steven. Good kid out there. Said, okay, so the year is almost over, but maybe Nintendo will surprise us with a custom Robo announcement and release a new one before Christmas. Will this happen, please?
No.
No, I'm sorry, Steven. No one believes harder than you do, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I like the game well enough.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah. On Podcast Ultimate, the Irrational Passion Super Smash Bros. Ultimate podcast, we Mike actually pitched a character that was a custom Robo character, and it was a really good pitch. It was kind of like worked kind of like Pokemon Trainer, where you like swap out your Robo parts for different like tiers of custom Robo. It's cool.
Are you sure you didn't say just Labo?
I'm sure Mike didn't say Labo. Although, what if they put out a custom Robo game that was just a Labo game? And you
Custom Labo.
had custom Labo. Would that make you happy, Steven? Or would that ruin you forever? Mike hits the wall. At Mike hits the wall. Mike 20 days, because 20 days until Smash Ultimate. He says, what do you think is next for Final Fantasy? This is relevant. Square seems like it's in a weird place, but I'm hopeful that they get back on track after these bigger game releases are finally here. However, it also doesn't seem like there's a team at Square to work on a new numbered Final Fantasy game. And then he says, P.S. just make a Final Fantasy 9 remake, cowards.
Like I said, this is like kind of what Damiani was saying. Like Tabata was like if they were gonna make a Final Fantasy 16, then like Tabata was gonna be the guy to do it.
Yeah. And
now that he's left, they don't really have anyone to do that anymore, because like the Dragon Quest guy is like working on the on that one. Yoko Taro's doing another Nier game. The Bravely Default team just put out Octopath Traveler. And it's like
and Nomura is still deep into Kingdom Hearts and then Final Fantasy VII remake after.
Yeah, exactly. So like they don't really have a guy for Final Fantasy 16. Like there's theories that they're trying to get the guy who did Final Fantasy 9 to do that, but like, you know, who knows? And you know, it's like I said, you should watch the latest EZL. Like, it's a very good take, I feel.
Yeah, I like. What do you think is next for Final Fantasy? I don't know. Like, I think like it's weird. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's weird to say like a break is probably the right call because Final Fantasy games come out so far apart already. They didn't used to. Obviously, game development was different, like in the early aughts. But I think they just need to take some time off. Like, really.
Excuse me. Did you forget Final Fantasy 13 trilogy?
It's true. It's fair.
Speaking of which, you gonna play that game on Xbox One?
Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it.
I'm thinking about it. I'm literally thinking about it.
That game is totally great. It's totally fine. Nah, man. I don't know.
Let's play the first one. Don't play the two.
Yeah, I mean the other two don't exist. We've talked about this. Yeah, I don't know. I might go back to it. The thing is, I owned Final Fantasy 13 on PS3, so I don't own it on Xbox One. I'd have to buy it again, which is fine.
It's $10.
Yeah, it's a good game. Final Fantasy 13. Give it another shot, everybody. Just the first one though. But yeah, I don't know. Like I'm with these guys. They just need to take some time off. Like take a few years off. Like don't have a Final Fantasy game in pre-production. Like just let that series sit and cool off. Like Square Enix has got a lot of cool stuff going on right now. I think they've got Kingdom Hearts like right around the corner. They've got all of their like Eastern development teams like working on this cool new Avengers game that we still don't know much about. That is probably gonna be really big and really cool. And they've got stuff like Octopath Traveler doing really well, and like the Tokyo RPG Factory, which we haven't heard from in a while, they're probably working on another cool little game. They've got stuff like they have plenty going on, and they don't necessarily need, like, with how much turmoil Final Fantasy has been in since versus 13 to it finally releasing with 15, like they have like earned a little bit of respite for it. And I think like we are at a point where maybe they can consider, I'm not necessarily saying this is what they should do, but maybe they can look at like, what if we didn't make Final Fantasy 16 and we just made a Final Fantasy game, like made a game that's called Final Fantasy. It's a possibility. Like, you know, anything is on the table now. Especially like we know that team, Tabata's team, is now finishing the DLC for 15. And Tabata's gone. So like they're not making it the next Final Fantasy game. So yeah, I think just take some time off. Let the series cool. What's next for it? Like what does that next game look like? I hope it's what Damiani was saying of like, let's make a good game first and build the stuff up around it. Because like Final Fantasy has always been really cool stories told, but they've also been like really classic tentpole RPGs in the history of video game RPGs. So they got to get back to that. I don't know. I think we did get one more. I want to make sure I didn't miss it. Not that one. Not that one. Does anyone have any thoughts on Game of the Year contender Tetris Effect? It's from Barrett Courtney at Sad Boy Barrett. Do you have any thoughts on Tetris Effect and Option?
It's fucking fantastic. Tony should play it. I think he would really enjoy it.
Yeah. Fuck yes. Tony, have you ever played a Mizuguchi game?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I had not played one before either. This was my first one. Boy, what a game to come in on. I think, Tony, you and I would probably also dig Res Infinite.
Yeah.
But we've both never played it, I don't think so. And then Barrett also asked, how's Red Dead for y'all?
Good game. I just need to put more time to it, that's all.
Yeah, Barrett finished it, and he seemed pretty conflicted about it. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, like, for some reason, I have really good quotes this year, I've been noticing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dumb fucking things I've been saying.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Red Dead Redemption, that's like the last Guardian of this year. And like
such a good quote, dude. Oh my God, I love
like,
that.
Like, what the
It's so true, though. You crushed it.
Yeah.
Did you remember Barrett's face when he said that? He was like,
I know, I saw
oh my
that.
God. I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah, I like Red Dead. I have nothing against it. I just like, I'm not feeling any pull to go back to it. Like the things I want to finish right now are Valkyria Chronicles 4. That game has hurt me in a very deep and personal way, but I will.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I know.
When is that review coming?
Someday, dude. Oh God. Man, you get to chapter 15 and then we're gonna fucking talk. We're gonna have a conversation.
I will get there, dude. I will get there.
I know. We have
So
like
sure.
I gotta talk it out with somebody. I have no one else. I'm gonna email Michael Damiani because he reviewed it for Easy Allies. Be like, I just need to talk to you. So I want to finish Valkyria Chronicles 4. I like it a lot. Still, it is definitely taking a hit as far as I don't like it as much as I did, but I still like it a lot. I want to finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I don't know if I want to finish Red Dead. I want to play more of it, but I don't know if I want to put the whole rigmarole of time into it. But also, fucking Darksiders 3 comes out soon, y'all, and I'm pretty stoked about it, I'll be perfectly honest. I know I'm the only one, but I don't care. I'm not the only one. There's like at least 2 other people. And that's it. Those are all the questions we got. Thanks everybody for writing in. We appreciate you all. Oh fuck, I didn't think of a bet.
That's okay. I didn't write any titles. I'm too tired.
It's okay. We got through it. We will resolve last week's bet when we get to it.
Our bet's the fucking Game Awards.
It's
thing.
It's true.
We'll be fine.
We'll make up for it with Game Awards. We've reached the end of the show. Just a couple things I want to throw out there before we wrap this up. One, you can be a part of the show, just like I said. Email us, tweet us, leave us a voicemail. We love to hear from you all and get your questions and talk about them. Follow the site on Twitter at Irrational Pod for news on the show and the website and posts that we do on the website. George Cruz runs the Twitter. He does a great job. Also, you can follow Irrational Passions on Instagram. Irrational Passions. It's weird to promote Instagram, I feel, on a podcast, but George just does a fucking bang up job putting stuff up there, so it's worth following. Some other stuff, rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and Spotify and wherever you listen to the podcast, wherever you prefer to listen to it. We have other shows like Input and Get Acquainted and Podcast Ultimate and Video Game Book Club. And they're all very good. And most of them are on YouTube or on podcast services, either or. So go check those out. And for everything else, irrationalpassions.com. Irrationalpassions.com is the place to be. For everything else, Irrational Passions. That's what I meant to say. I don't know if I talked about this on the show, but we launched a new page on irrationalpassions.com called The Best of Irrational Passions. It is a page, like a feature page with the 10 best articles picked by the editors of Irrational Passions of the website. So if you've never read anything on irrationalpassions.com before, you can go to irrationalpassions.com/best of, and it is a big list of the 10 articles that we picked out that we think are pretty good. Some of them are older, some of them are more recent. We are planning to add an article to that every month for the foreseeable future. Until
is your Xbox One article on there?
It's not. It's garbage list. Then throw it away. My Uncharted Feelings critique is on there though, which I like a lot.
Uncharted Feelings.
Uncharted 4 Uncharted Feelings and Uncharted critique.
Okay.
Something.
Okay.
That uses the word Uncharted in the title 5 times. Which I like a lot. I went back and re-listened to that recently, and I do like that article. Logan's Oregon Trail piece is on there that I like a lot. And his Rocket League piece is on there that I like a lot. George's Deadly Premonition Lost Oddities is on there, which I also quite appreciate. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff on there. If you've never read IP before, or if you've only ever listened to the podcast or anything, we have a team of writers that do a whole bunch of really cool stuff on the site, and that's a great entry point. So you can click on any of those articles, and I think you'll get a little taste of what we do on the site. And I think that's cool. We're going to be adding stuff from Scott, Quinn, and Mike soon as well. So that was just that. It was a very old list that we put together last year. We wanted to just get it out before we started adding to it. But yeah, I just want to mention that real quick. This is the end of the show. We don't have bets this week. It's not time for bets, Tony.
Right.
But it's okay. We're all at least a little off my game this week because Extra Life has thrown me the hell off. But we do have a bet to resolve from 2 weeks ago. Last week's bet. What will the final total track list for Tetris Effect be? Which was information that we didn't know if we would have at the time. Let me see. I wonder if they have a track list on the website, because they did for Lumines, and that was super rad.
Make sure it's not the sampler one. The sampler one's 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I will. God damn it. There's no I just want to be able to Google Tetris Effect full track list and just have it, and I can't do that. Which means I might have to boot up the credits of the game and find out. No. There's a song out there by some artist. I won't necessarily name them here, but it is called Tetris Effect. It is completely unrelated to the video game. and it only comes up when you search Tetris Effect track list. Let me see.
Tetris Effect PS4 track list.
Did you find it?
No, I was just saying.
Tetris Effect.
You should probably do.
That's PS4 track list. No, yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, god damn it. All right, I don't want to necessarily draw at the end of this show. I will do some research and I will resolve this. I have it, so like in the credits it has a full track list, so I'll probably just do that. I was hoping that information would be easily accessible, but seems like a reasonable request. So we'll figure that out next week once we do our Game Awards. We're gonna bet on the Game Awards. It's gonna be a good time. Listen, bets are back, baby. The race has never been this close, so to speak. I think we're 1 point away from each other. That's it. I know it was sloppy, but this is the end of the show. We've reached the end. Thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate you all very much. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for our opening music of 2-Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. I still love those tracks, and I get excited every time I get to cut them for the podcast. Thanks everybody who donated for Extra Life. Y'all threw some money towards a really great cause, and we really appreciate you coming out and supporting us every year for 9 years, which is crazy to think that we've been doing this for 9 years. I remember in the townhouse I used to live with, my mom, Scott and his brother Will coming over and us playing Super Street Fighter 4 with a webcam pointed at a TV. That was the first Extra Life with Irrational Passions. And boy, how far we've come. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's still a lot of fun. Still a great time.
If they still want to donate it, where can they go to?
If you want to donate to our page, irrationalpassion.com/extralife, there's a big button here that says click here to donate, and it'll take you to our donation page. Extra-life.org is the website to donate, though, if you'd like to just donate in general. And it's all going toward a good cause. So that's it. Thank you, everybody. We all appreciate you all. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Nabishin, for joining me, as always. I love you guys. Big hugs. All the way around. All you American listeners out there, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Eat some food. Spend some time with people you care about, whether that's family, friends, or otherwise. And have a good week. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Next week.
Can we rename this segment to Title?
What?
Because there's only one. It's a joke.
I'm not even going to read it if there's only one.
It's not worth it. There's no titles. There's no titles.
Custom Labo. You wrote it. You did all that effort. You wrote Custom Labo. It's a funny thing.
No, it's not that funny.
I think it's funny. Well, I think by default it wins. So I think Steven Scoffin Steven out there will be happy that it won. So it's worth it. He's out there praying to God for a new custom robo game, and honestly, I respect that.
Who are we to deny him?
Who are we to deny Steven?
Us? No. Nintendo? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Nintendo's for sure denied Steven. All right. I'll say the number. Somebody just say the title. We'll make it happen. We're all
Custom Labo. There you go.
You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 402. I'll make that work. It's going to be a mess, but I'll make it work. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you all. Have a good evening. Bye.